Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, man? Hey, welcome to King Penny's podcast, man. Like I said, we took this thing outside again, man. Hey, that's what happens when you bring larger than life characters to the show, man. They can't, inside can't contain them, man. Hey, like to welcome our guest.
Thank you.
So let's get your name and where you're from.
Savannah Revis. I am from Wilmington, North Carolina. Grew up there. Went to college in Virginia.
Hey, East Coast on
Yeah,
it, all right.
East Coast always.
That's what I like. So what's the family look like?
I have a 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Soma.
Okay.
And then I have an 8-year-old son, and his name is Kamoy.
Kamoy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah, so I get that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Their names actually are derived from very spiritual and metaphysical meanings. Kamoy means divine being in Japanese.
Okay.
And Soma was actually a drink that the Greek and Vedic cultures drank to reach higher power, like ayahuasca's used.
Got you. Look, so you explain this to everybody, like every time, like.
A lot.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, man, look, hey.
Everybody always asks, and I'm like, yeah, well, this is what their names mean, and I put a lot of intention into it.
Yeah. So I reached out to you, right? Because I be watching, man, and you're the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, man. Self-made, you know what I'm saying? Be making moves all over the place. Because we got a lot of ground to cover, right?
Right.
But I want to start with the primary business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's start there. What's the name of that company?
Earth Love Cleaning.
Earth Love Cleaning.
Yeah, so we are eco-friendly, non-toxic. We really try to focus on waste reduction during cleaning, so not just throwing away products every time we clean, having things that we could reuse, cleaners that are way more long-term use and longevity. And then we do short-term rental, so Airbnb, VRBO, a bunch of that. That's actually our specialty.
Okay.
And then we do residential houses and small businesses. No big hospitals or anything like that.
So what made you get into the eco-friendly side of cleaning?
I was already very interested in herbal medicine, and I was trying to go to school for it at the Colorado School of Clinical Herbalism, which I actually funded myself going to school with my cleaning business 3 years after starting it.
Yeah.
And I did the program, but I was just really interested in organic and non-toxic and eco-friendly and just how to live a better lifestyle for my family, because my kid was in the picture at that point.
Yeah.
It was really important. And with my son, I wasn't using a bunch of toxic stuff, so I started looking into things. I fell into Norwex, which is a Norwegian, it's an MLM brand, which not a huge fan of anymore, but it basically has all the products you would need to start cleaning. And I bought a big kit of it, and I started marketing myself in Facebook groups, just letting people know I was a mom in the area. I worked in restaurants for 10 years. I have really good skills with cleaning. I like to clean. I'm type A, OCD, about things with cleaning. So, I thought it was definitely an easy route for me to try to make some extra money. And I had to quit my job in 2 weeks because I had a full schedule.
I heard that. So pretty much you brought the East Coast hustle out west.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Nah.
My very first job, when I was 15, my dad would drop me off at night. I was cleaning office buildings. Yeah. And this actually didn't dawn on me until a couple of years ago. I remembered, I was like, that job that I hated.
Yeah.
But here we are, full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah.
How many people do you have on staff?
Right now we have 51.
And this is all over the state, right?
Yeah, so we go we have somebody down all the way in the Lone Tree, Fort Collins area. And I have contractors out there that I work with on a regular basis if we get jobs down there, or we go all the way up to Fort Collins.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So mountain towns are a little bit tougher, but I mean anywhere in the metro area or in between.
So you spreading pretty much primarily though from the Springs to Fort Collins, everything in between.
Yes.
Okay, I got you there. So what's the long-term plan for this? What's the down the line, 5 years from now? Do you see this something as people being able to franchise? Are you know what I mean? What direction? Or am I jumping the gun here? Look, I don't want to give up. Look, I don't want to show all your cards, but in my mind,
I would love to answer that question for you, but I can't answer it yet.
Okay, all right.
There are very much bigger things.
No, definitely hold your cards
Yeah.
close to you. But
So-
you know me, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick the brain. Look,
We've had some meetings. It's on the table.
Oh, okay. Because I
The
just
ultimate goal would be to offer this creation that I've poured my blood, gut, sweat, tears, life into for the last 8 years, to other people in the United States or afar.
Yeah. So what's the best way for people to contact you from that end?
Our website, just going in and like reaching out to us through our email. Our email is on there. My phone number should be on there. Like everything should be. I try to direct people always to email so that we have, you know, a running track record of what we're talking about, and we can really dial in details a lot easier that way.
Okay, so I'll make sure I put it under there. So it's just earthlovecleaning.com.
Yeah.
Okay, because you know you got to spell it out for people sometimes. Right. So I'm gonna put it at the bottom of here, man. That's great. All right, so we got that one right. So man, it's a lot to unpack here. Let's talk about the beauty pageant aspect of things. You are Miss Longmont.
Right.
2024.
I am.
Well, 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, how did that come about?
There is a woman that I look up to a lot, and she did the pageant, and she actually won. And she had kind of mentioned it to me, and I was like, I've always wanted to do that, but I actually thought that because I had tattoos that there was really no place for me in that world, and I understood that when I started getting tattooed that it was going to take me out of certain things that I wanted to do that might prohibit me because I had tattoos, like a flight attendant job or something like that. And she told me, no, it's not, like, people have tattoos all the time now. And I talked to the director, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I want to try something I've never done. I've always wanted to try it when I was a little girl. And I knew it was going to make me really uncomfortable because I'd never done anything like it. And it was just like, it almost made me want to throw up because I thought I was going to die on the stage at times, right? So nervous. But the growth that happened, you know, so I knew that it was going to push me to grow. And who doesn't want to, like, get fancy dresses and, like, sparkle on stage, right? Like,
What was the hardest part about, you know what I mean, getting into pageantry? Like, what's the hardest, like, part of it?
I think just trusting myself and learning how to interview was like one of the most difficult parts. Was my coach would rip me apart with the interview coaching that we did.
Because it's just random questions, isn't it? Or there's
a set of questions, and you would expect to hear those, but they can go off, and they can ask something else. And if you've rehearsed all this stuff, you don't want to sound rehearsed. You want to be speaking from your heart, and you want to be relatable, right? You want to tell your story, because your story is what captivates people and what makes people feel like they're close to you. And I think just like not knowing that going into interviewing, now after coaching with the interviewing for the pageant, I actually am able to handle my interpersonal relationship conversations way better. And with my children. And with other, you know, business, friends, relationship.
And it just comes from being a stronger communicator, like getting your point, like, hey, this is what I want to say to you.
And
like,
where, you know, what are you adding in that's not really that important? What is the point? And how do you effectively communicate that in, like, the best way, right? And I took a lot from, I think it was probably 8 coaching sessions. I mean, I decided I was doing the pageant 3 months before. And I was like, oh, pageant, go. And it was 2 weeks after my bodybuilding show.
So I'm lost. Look here, hold on. So I hadn't even thought about that. So you competed in bodybuilding as well?
I do,
Oh, so you currently still?
So I'm in off season right now.
Okay. So when's so next year you probably compete, right? Have you?
I really want to go pro, and some tight competition on those national stages.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm up against girls that have a extreme advantage over me for certain reasons.
Yes, indeed.
I am not ever going to go that route, so I just have to grow. And after my last show, I was so just mentally like, you know, I wanted to win the overall so bad that I was like, I'm too skinny. I haven't gained enough muscle. I'm not eating enough. I know I need to take a long time off because I signed up with a bodybuilding coach, or I had multiple coaches before I found the coach that really felt like the right person for me. And she took me, you know, in the first 2 weeks, I was already seeing changes that I hadn't seen in like 3 months. And so that was what really drove me. And so we set a date, and then I was ready early.
It's crazy what happens when you set a date.
Yeah,
You know what I
when
mean?
you set a date.
It becomes in your mind. It becomes, hey,
Yeah.
this right here.
Exactly.
So how did you get into fitness, period?
Well, my father is actually incarcerated, and I've only lived with him for 1 year my whole life, and the year I did, he was becoming a professional bodybuilder. And I have a really amazing set of memories from going to the gym, Gold's Gym, and prepping food and painting him with the stain, because back then they painted you with stain, they didn't spray tan you.
Yeah.
And it was just like a very monumental time in my life, and then I lost that part, and I never actually thought that I was capable of getting into the shape that I needed to be on a stage.
Yeah.
And then when you see it happen, it fuels you even more. So it's like during the time that I trained, I was listening to songs from my childhood with my dad. I had my nails painted with like symbolism for my father when I was competing. It just, everything was very intentional.
Yeah.
And that was like what drew me to it, was, how can I get close to him?
It's crazy that you say that. So this morning on my story, I posted up something like, like a Inky Johnson quote, like the reason people fail because they just do it for themselves.
Yeah.
And when it gets hard, it's easy to quit on you, but when you're doing it for somebody else, or you're doing it with something else, a greater something in mind, you push extra hard when you know, like this, and this, and, versus just say, I'm just trying to show up and do this.
And look, I'm trying to get on stage, right? It was like, I want to be as close as I can to my dad. And that felt like the closest I could get to him. Yeah. And showing my kids that you got to do hard stuff. If you want to get it, if you want that goal, if you want that dream, you have to push yourself so hard that nothing else matters. Like, that you would do whatever it takes, and stay up, put them to bed at 10 o'clock, and then go to the gym at 12 a.m. to do your cardio, that you're completely depleted. You're 2 weeks out from a show.
Mentally tired.
Everything.
Dehydrated, or partially dehydrated.
Yeah, you just you're falling apart because prep
ate
is
all
hard.
your calories already for the day, so you're just running on pretty much just and
willpower.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. I get asked a lot. How do you do all this? Because I made the choice that that's what I was going to do. And I'm not going to give up on myself or the reasons that I chose to do those things.
Yeah.
And if that means that some days I cry about it,
yeah.
Some days we cry about it, right? We get through it, though.
But we do it, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You find a way to get through it. So moving from that, you also became a fitness coach, a motivator, Let's talk about all that.
Yeah, so I feel like I was helping people always with my business, no matter what. I've been helping people for a long time. I've always been that go-to person to come with your problems and talk you through it.
Yeah.
But when fitness and everything changed not just my physical health, but my mental health changed a lot when I started eating the way that I was told to. And then I started learning, taking classes. And then it's like, oh, aha. It's in the aha moment where you're like, and now, for me, my goal in life is always just to help people. So why not add that to the other offerings that I bring to the table? Like, if I can help somebody else with fitness and help them get on a healthy diet, maybe help them get ready for a show, change their lifestyle and their mindset around whatever it may be, because a lot of the time it's layered.
Yeah, because you also, too, you have a mindset certification, or what is that?
So it was mindset coaching, teaching people how to break through the barrier.
How to flip the switch?
Yeah.
You teaching people
how to just wake up and be tired of their own BS.
Huh. So get out of their own way and get out of their head.
Yeah, get out of their own way. What's holding them back?
So what made you decide to get that cert? Well, it only can help you grow in your field.
When you've been on your own since you were 16.
Yeah.
I graduated high school 2 years early and started college in Virginia and moved 5 hours away from home. And then I moved out here when I was 21. And when you've been on your own for that long, it's a lot of life experience. It's a lot of hard stuff. I didn't have a lot of family fallback, financial support. If I didn't have something, when my son was born, I didn't have a car for 2 years. We would bust everywhere in Boulder. When you don't have those things, you work hard for them. And then when you get them, you'll do whatever it takes to just keep, pushing. I don't know if I got off track. But
well, no, I'm just saying, because that's what the whole idea of this, podcast is. what motivates the motivated. Like, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much, what you're saying is, hey, look here, there was no plan B. The plan B was to make the plan A work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all we got. And there was nothing to fall back on.
But plan A has a lot of, like, you know, detours, right?
Yeah.
But it essentially is get where I need to go, and what does it take to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you fall off the track, you get back on over and over and over again. It's not about falling off. It's about, all right, what mistakes did I make to fall off, and how do I get back on and stay on next time better?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna fall off.
Yeah.
You're gonna get knocked down. That is life. It's like, where do you draw the line with just accepting that, like, these things are gonna happen, and instead of, like, you know, waiting for them to happen and letting them happen to you, you're already going, all right, well, that happened, I'm gonna persevere through this. What's the next step? I gotta go to the bank and fix this problem right now. I gotta make this phone call, you know? Okay, I can't do it now. I've gotta wait 3 hours. Just trusting that it's in alignment for you. And I think that's another thing is, like, the intuitive training work, and really just tuning in with my energy and how I show up for other people, and, like, how I try to exchange shows up.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
it's
definitely.
like, you give good gives back.
No, definitely. Like I said, when you came in the building, it was like, oh, okay, she's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the personality came out, everything, like, just like, you know, when the door opened, I was like, oh, okay, this is about to be fun.
Yeah,
and
I think that, like, what as humans, we thrive off of connection and, like, sharing with others and helping others. So getting that, right? And doing that in daily life. So it's like, when I live like that, it shows up for me. You know, periods of my life where maybe I was being selfish before I had kids. You know, I wasn't always in the best shape. You know, I didn't always have good things happening. My car was breaking down, people were breaking into it, you know, stuff like that. But it's like, when you do good, it comes. And when you keep putting your best foot forward, no matter how many times you get kicked, you will overcome it eventually.
Yeah.
It's just whether you'll hold fast until you get there.
Nah, it's like the hardest part, just to especially when you're in it.
Yeah.
To, like, oh, okay. But when you get through it, you be like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I did hold the lines. But in it, boy, I'm trying to tell you, it's something else.
It's like David Goggins. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you got to, rain, whatever. We're out here running.
We're out here, whatever. No matter what it is.
Yeah. So, as far as the pageantry goes, so when is the competition for 2024? Like, when?
I think they just set the date for the end of April.
Oh, okay. And what's the prep leading into that? Like,
so for me, I just want to be more involved with the stuff with our children in our community in Longmont. My business does work with Mountain Shelter, the kids' home.
Oh, okay.
And so I think, I believe that's the name. Sometimes I'd flop up the way the words are supposed to go in the name.
Yeah.
But there's about 13, I think it was like 10 to 13 teenage kids, and they have a big piece of land where there's multiple homes, and there's host families that take care of these kids. There's a school, there's a gym, and I have gone to deep clean, like, the gym bathrooms and the locker rooms there and their kitchen, and it brought me to tears when the kids came to say thank you to me. Like, I don't need thank you. Thank you for letting me come do that.
Yeah.
You know, that was. So the goal is to use the title with my business and the abilities that we have to help more like that. And we were reached out by a safe shelter center in Longmont, but I've had a hard time getting back in touch with the woman. So I'm, like, hoping to, like, kind of get the ball rolling on that again. So that we can just work with more, like, nonprofits.
Could you find yourself relating more to those children that age, those teenagers, as you had your own at that young age? Like, you know what I mean?
I think that's why I've always been drawn to helping young children, because I know that while I had a great mom and a great stepdad, there's a lot of tumultuous relationships within a step parent. In fact, I wanted to live with my dad at times. There's, you know, it was rough, right?
Yeah.
I left at 16, not just because I was super smart or something, but because I was trying to escape. And I think that, you know, sometimes those people need somebody that, like, has been...
They can relate to, they can see.
That they can see, like, what? You did all of that? You've been through all of that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's your story, right? Well, okay, I can do this. I can get through this. Even if I don't have a mom, or I don't have a dad, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Easy. You just have to want it bad enough. And that's why I want to like always extend that. And you never know like who sees what you're doing, right? Like the light that they see.
Yeah.
And you know, one little girl came, she's like, "Can you come clean my toilet too?" I was like, we'll be back. I said, me and my teams will be back to clean, you know?
You know, that's super cool.
Yeah.
When did you have the moment where you're like, or has that moment came where you're like, just the exhale? Or is there one for somebody who's as busy as you are? Is there an exhale moment, or is there a moment of gratification or
it's weird
satisfaction as to where you are?
Yeah, it's weird. Like honestly, lately I've been like really settling into the space that I'm at. I was like for like 3 months during summer, we were so pretty much overbooked. We were taking on so much work at max capacity. Everybody's working every day. Like people that are traveling obviously can't work, so I'm short people some days. You know, we have 55 Airbnb turns in one day. Like how? You know, my mind was just spinning, and I said, okay, where are the problems? And I fixed them, and now I feel like I'm starting to settle into like, instead of panicking through the problem, being like, because I think with the business, I still always am like, gotta make sure it's perfect right away, when knowing that there's like there's a flow of like fixing a problem, and that you just have to do it slowly. And so lately there's been a lot of like, and honestly, my children are both about to be at the same school for the first time ever.
So you're not going to have to run.
I can feel it coming, and I can feel, because I commute for my son's school, and I can feel obviously the shift of the fact that I'm not going to spend 2.5 to 3 hours every morning and afternoon doing transport, because they don't go to school close.
Yeah.
I send them to like a Montessori school, so it's, you know, it's not a short drive.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And I can feel the peace coming, right? When you start to like chisel off things that are causing you stressors.
Yeah, because when we were talking before, you know what I mean, you were talking about delegating.
Right.
And then when I pushed back, I was like, it's not enough time in the day. You know what I'm saying? You make time.
Yeah.
So this leads into my question. So what would you tell a mom, right, who has children, you know what I mean, or is expecting or planning to have children? How can they get as much done, I guess, as you? Or, you know what I mean?
Asking for more help. Admitting where they're struggling. If it's food, like dinner. I don't cook dinner anymore. I actually have, a meal prep service, ladies. She's a local woman to the Longmont area. It's called Cowgirl Kitchen. So good.
Definitely, I'm going to plug them in, because we're going to try this thing on out.
She's literally been the lifesaver for my family for the last year. The meals are incredible. I'm so grateful. They get dropped off at my house. Like, that saved me time. There's things as a mother that really
take up a lot of time.
If, cleaning is something like they're stressed out about the cleaning, try to find somebody, even if it's not in a budget of a big cleaning service, like maybe a service like mine, which is a little bit more expensive than like an independent cleaner. Try to find somebody to help you, even if it's one time a month. And if you are worried about whether you have the money for that, go find a babysitting job, or offer to help another mom for a few hours one day, a couple days a week, so that she can get some stuff done for super cheap and use that money to pay for the house clean. Get creative. Don't give up, find ways to work around your problems, and look for solutions. And the biggest thing for me is I've always asked for help in the community. Like when I started the business, I was like, I need to make money for my family. I didn't just say, hi, I want to clean houses. I stated where I was at and why I was there and what I was trying to do. And people
built a connection.
Yeah, they listened, and then they helped me. And then they were like, wow, we love you. And I had a client that I started cleaning for, one of my very first clients, and like I still talk to her. We're friends on Facebook. She still donates her big kids' clothes to my younger children. Like she's always like, you want some hand-me-downs? And I'm like, sure, send them over. So it's that, like, just having constant, like, knowing that you have to ask for help, you have to accept where you're falling short or where you feel like you can't do it, because that's where you need the most love, right? That's where you need somebody to pour love into.
No, okay.
Especially as a mom, because it can be very daunting. You can feel very alone. You can feel like you're just in it all by yourself, especially new moms. And then the kids start getting older and it gets easier. And it's knowing that like everything is ever changing. So just ask for help when you need it.
No, because you know, I mean, like I said, I think as a father and a male,
Right.
I don't think we fully grasp. You know what I mean? The things that run around in you guys is like joking. You know what I mean? Like a few months ago, like how you guys remember everybody's sizes, everybody's like, you know what I mean? Like just you can run them down.
Yeah.
And like you asked me, hey, look here.
Well, you think about it, a woman has like, she has a running track record of all these things in her head at all times. Toilet paper, laundry detergent, you know. When was the last time the house was dusted? Are there fingerprints on the screen from the kid eating pizza and touching the TV screen? Things like that, right?
Oh my goodness.
Everything. And that's why women and mostly mothers feel so burnt out, is because no one really sees that part.
Yeah.
They just, because we always just carry it, doesn't mean it's heavy.
Yeah, no, I get. Look, now you got me thinking. Like I might need to apologize to a few people.
Oh.
I might need to apologize to a few people. Hey,
Well,
man.
I mean, we're superheroes.
Hey, I'm just.
We birth them and we take care of them.
But you guys get breakfast once a year. What's that? You used to get brunch.
Oh,
You get brunch
man,
in May. Look,
Right.
hey, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
No, it's terrible. But no, you guys do a lot, man. But also too, but I want to compliment you. You know what I mean? Like I said, on the Earth Love Cleaning, you know what I'm saying? The pageant, you know what I mean? The bodybuilding and stuff
you.
like that, man. And, you know, all that you do for the community, you know what I mean? Like, because, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, and you do it with grace, like, which comes with the crown, like, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to bring you here to give you your flowers, you know what I mean? Because I see from afar. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't wear my sash.
Oh yeah, you slipping on that one.
Yeah,
Look, you're supposed to
always.
bring that.
Yes,
No,
always.
I'm joking. No, you can't remember everything. Hey, no, but like I said, I want to thank you for finding time to sit down.
Absolutely, thank you.
Make sure we plug them. earthlovecleaning.com.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that they need to know as far as information goes? Like Instagram or Facebook, can they hit you directly?
The best way is website. I mean, we have an Instagram. You can find pictures and reviews. Our Google reviews pretty much say it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bet that. So you know what I mean? Check her out and stuff like that, man. We're in beautiful downtown Longmont. She stretches all the way from Colorado Springs down south, all the way to Fort Collins if you for all your cleaning needs, man. Earth Love Cleaning, man. Check it out. Hey, I'm King Penny, man. This is Savannah. Hey, if you get time, check out the weight pile in the Rockies at 1610 Main Street in Longmont, Colorado, man. You guys have a great day, man. Hey, enjoy the view too, man.